sulobe kankatola. Komorial Mario jatobe kankatola.
Ba Benjamin, a Koranine, Nansama Manang, Kanataba Samala, Koral Pide Karokari, Sedamondinjo, Sanji Killing Sanji Fula, Torfanandinta, Fuarea Bedame, Yinin Fautinano, Kununja Manata, Sama Fentina, Koral Pide Karokari, Sedamondinjo.
Yoddu sa xat te quality jas na ñoo yor seen cumbukaay tur day uyu borom jas na pire soo ko bëggee fii si biir Gambia bi dawal foofu sa quality jas na your number one stop shop ana sama jigéen ñi dama bëgg ngeen jox ma seen nopp garme yi ndaxte quality jas na amal nañ leen ay til yu toj daala poos abaaya yu yiiw waaye it amal nañ leen ay boreda yu rafet boreda yoo xam ne pour góor ñi la ak pour jigéen ñi amal nañ leen body scrub yi nga xam ne nii dafay defar seen yaram bam nice white fàttewuñ fa diw yi ana sama jeeg yu pare yi quality jas na amal nañ leen fa andi cuuraay yu neex house spray ak bépp xeetu baax pour seen biir néeg dama ne atum ren ji ku sa jëkkër mere ku ne yow la neex ndaxte quality jas na ñëw na si dëkk bi pour defar sëy yi makeup artist yi bàyyiñ leen gannaaw ñu ngi leen fa amal ay makeup product yu quality waxu leen léegi nii foofu sa Westfield jàkkaarloog monument bi wala nga jokkoo quality jas na si 250 0124 ak quality jas na taaral sa bopp taaral sa néeg waaye dëggal sa alaaji aas.
Conference would actually focus on what to expect in the next 60-65 days, and of course in terms of preparations for the awards, the awards categories, and the list goes on. And a small program guide. So first off, we should be having, as per the program guide, we would be having a brief introduction and an overview of the National Journalism Awards, which would be followed by the significance of the National Journalism Awards, and also an explanation of the processes, the criteria, and of course the fairness and the transparency the judges are looking for in terms of selecting nominees. And after that, we would give you a highlight of some of the confirmed partners we have for National Journalism Awards 2024, and we would open the questions for Q&A for members of the media that have questions to ask, clarifications with regards to the criteria and the selections. We would have actually had the chief judge for National Journalism Awards to actually take you through what exactly they want and they're looking for. But unfortunately, he is not here. So we move on. The National Journalism Awards is, of course, the highest and most recognized, or the only recognized award in the Gambia, celebrating excellence in journalism and, of course, celebrating media personnels who have demonstrated exceptional reporting, storytelling, and integrity in their work. This event is organized annually, and this is going to be the 9th edition. So as we prepare to honor outstanding journalists across all platforms, be it print, online, broadcast, let's say radio and television, we would also look at individuals that uphold the highest standards of ethical journalism and, of course, reporting with standards. Nonetheless, the previous years, we have had a lot of issues coming from the press in terms of who is qualified and who is not, and people feeling that they deserve the category instead of the actual winner. And with that regards, what we would tell you is that follow and listen carefully, because the chairperson for the National Journalism Awards would delve deep into that aspect of it. And that being said, she would also introduce the members of the awards committee for the fact that we have a couple of additions to the committee this year as well. And there would be absolute difference, for there would be introduction of new criterias and also new categories. So I think that should be very fundamental, and all questions should be based exclusively on just the National Journalism Awards, because that is why we are seated here, not about the press union or any other activities. Thank you.
For the 2024 National Journalism Awards, which actually organized by the Gambia Press Union, and is always done as the most esteemed recognition of journalistic excellence within the Gambia. These awards pay tribute to the valor and excellence displayed by Gambian journalists across a diverse spectrum of media platforms, this encompassing print, online, radio, television, and some aspects of photography, which will actually determine journalistic photography. In alignment with its core mission of elevating professional standards within the Gambian media landscape, so the Gambia Press Union has diligently hosted the National Journalism Awards since 2016. The driving force behind this initiative is to inspire and galvanize journalists to relentlessly pursue excellence within their respective domains. This year's awards committee is comprising of 10 individuals. Myself, I serve as the chairperson of the committee, Famara Jaune as the vice chairperson, Buba Fati and Ceres Gomez for fundraising, Annette Kamara, Abibatu Sise and Amadou Oba for communications and branding, and Mam Bintanjai IT support responsible for the website and assist judges to compile the entries. And we have Aliou Sise and Musa Sadio responsible for logistics. The awards constitute a pivotal component of GPU's flagship initiate activities, commemorating World Press Freedom Day annually on the 3rd of May. However, owing to some logistical considerations and other challenges, this award ceremony is typically held on an alternative day. In recent instances, it took place on the 3rd of September in 2021, on the 2nd of December in 2022, on the 16th of December in 2023. But for this year, preparations are underway to stage the event on the 7th of December 2024. Eligibility for the awards extends to all Gambian journalists employed by registered Gambian-based media outlets and platforms. Works authored by Gambian journalists for international media sources are also eligible for consideration. This means to say Gambian journalists that are actually here based in the Gambia but also work for online international media outlets, their works are also going to be considered during the awards. Additionally, eligible entries must be stories that produce and publish both locally and internationally between the 1st of January 2023 and the 31st of December 2023. Please take note that opinion pieces, advertorials, content generated under commercial contract and promotional purposes, and newsletter items articles are not eligible for submission. The 2024 Awards Committee is delighted to announce that this year's ceremony will feature 15 distinct categories, excluding the special GPU Awards in recognition of outstanding journalistic achievements. The respective categories are Business and Finance Reporting Award, Sports Reporting Award, Environment Reporting Award, Investigative Reporting Award, Health and Medical Reporting Award, Women's Reporting Award, Children's Reporting Award. Now, instead of initially travel tourism, we've changed it to Tourism, Culture, Arts and Entertainment Reporting Award, Agriculture Reporting Award, Political Reporting Award, Human Rights Reporting Award, Legal Affairs Reporting, Photojournalism, Security Reporting Award, and the newest, which is Tax Reporting Award. Plans and discussions are underway to include Parliamentary Reporting Awards, but still discussions are on it and we'll finalize and inform you in due course. These other awards are not for grab, which the awards that I'm coming to say, aside from the Journalist of the Year, which actually you will know comes from the entire, as the individual person that wins most of the awards that becomes the Journalist of the Year based on the work that has been submitted. The rest of these awards that I'm going to mention would be subject to public voting, open to the public. And these are Journalist of, not the Journalist of the Year, sorry, Community Radio of the Year, Radio Station of the Year, TV Station of the Year, Online Media Platform of the Year, and Newspaper of the Year. These award categories that I've mentioned are categories that are going to be open to the public to vote. We will actually discuss when and how this voting process will be done in our subsequent publications. The awards committee is in the final stages of preparing to accept applications of the various award categories, and entries will open from the 16th of September and will run through to the 16th of October. The public, especially journalists, will also be informed in due course when the entries are supposed to open. To stay updated on crucial deadlines and essential information regarding the 2023 awards, we encourage you to follow our official social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and also our main website. We acknowledge the pivotal role that members of the press and the public play in the process of communication team, which is also dedicated to fostering productive dialogues and engagements to ensure broader participation and support. Moreover, the awards committee is in the process of confirming a panel of judges consisting of independent media experts known for their unwavering integrity. Their names and detailed biographies will be promptly published on our website. These esteemed judges will be entrusted with the vital task of receiving and evaluating all entries, ultimately determining the most deserving recipients of the awards. In their assessment, the judges will consider the following criteria: accuracy and relevance, grammar, style and presentation, the impact of the story, creativity, and originality. I'd also like to mention in this juncture that maybe it could actually come in the questions that may be asked later on in the aspect of the photojournalism category, which there has been so many noise about it last year that it was actually not awarded to. An individual might submit a story and the reporter actually wins the story. That doesn't necessarily mean that the cameraman submitting that same video footages could actually win the story. We are looking at videos and photos that could tell a story without even somebody saying anything. That talks about the originality, how good the pictures are. We also look at the shots that have been taken and how creative the person is in the pictures and the videos that the person have actually captured. It is also imperative to emphasize that while the GPU Awards Committee finalizes the selection of judges, we want to reassure everyone that these judges will maintain complete independence in their roles. Their decisions and evaluations will remain untouched by any external influence, ensuring an impartial and fair process. This committee operates independently of the GPU and sustains its fundraising and financial activities autonomously. Therefore, we take this moment to extend thanks and appreciation to our partners who have been there with us all this while. We would like to send gratitude to our traditional partners that have also been there: R&A to say, Unique Group, Child Fund Gambia, and the Gambia Tourism Board, amongst a host of others. Our appeal to other organizations, both public and private institutions, is to help to be potential donors to generously support this year's National Journalism Awards. At this juncture, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to all our donors who also contributed in making the success of the 2023 awards. As a dedicated committee, our mission revolves around acknowledging the commending excellence within journalism. Our aim is to celebrate and honor the impactful work that journalists undertake, while simultaneously nurturing a culture of excellence within the profession. We firmly believe that the contributions of journalists significantly enrich our democracy. Thus, we extend an earnest invitation to all and sundry, but to stand by our side in recognizing and inspiring Gambian journalists. We genuinely appreciate your attentive consideration and support. Thank you.
Open the floor for question and answers. If you have any question, clarification, or comment that you have,
please tell us what is the delay?
Actually expecting as part of the questions. What happened was that the promise of that package came on the day of the award. And being a committee, so much excited. And from our press conference last year, what we were hoping to achieve was to make that award one of the best that has ever happened. So when it came, it was something like a good news, especially for the fact that this is going to be an opportunity for winners to actually go and sharpen their skills or build their skills somewhere else outside home. So, but when we went into details, after that announcement and pronouncement was actually made, then we had to go back to do some background checks as to the individual in question and some of the promises that were actually made. So some individual journalists, part of the winners, were actually part of those that actually are part of the ones doing the digging and the investigation on that particular issue. Then so many questions were raised at some point. As a union and as a committee, in as much as we want to enrich the capacity of journalists and then build their capacity outside home, we wouldn't also want to put them at risk of at the end of the day, GPU will be held responsible for most of all this. We steer the affairs and welfare of journalists, but wouldn't put the lives of any journalist at risk. Most of the journalists that were supposed to benefit from that package raised so many questions, and we wouldn't want to go further to actually force them to accept something that they actually have two minds on. So because of that, we actually gave them the opportunity to actually, if they want to go ahead, to submit their names or not. And the names were never submitted. So we also never went ahead to continue with that.
Quickly, is it questions raised against insecurity?
Insecurity issues as per the individual in question that was involved for the entire aspect of the traveling. So, and then looking at the country that was being talked about as well, Pakistan, the security situation in Pakistan and all of those things raised so many doubts, which will actually, we never wanted to put our journalists at risk of those security situations.
Sorry, a quick one. You said the award will be on the 7th of December.
Yes.
And we will still have awards that will be published until 31st of December.
No,
So how do you
31st of December 2023. 2023, yes. From 1st January 2023 to 31st January 2023, yes.
I later realized that Pakistan, yes, I've been hearing about Pakistan in the news, especially in international media. The reputation is not good security-wise. So even if the package had come through for somebody like me who was a nominee last year, I wouldn't have gone because of the security situation in the country. So aside from that, what are some of the new categories in this year's awards? And would they fall into the same criteria when it comes to the judgment aspect of it?
Yes, the new categories, aside from mentioning the aspect of the television station, and which is actually going to be subjected to public voting. Yes, so the public is actually going to decide who they feel is one of the best in terms of the different media platforms we have. So what we have is the tax reporting award that we've actually introduced as a new category. And like I mentioned before, we're also looking at the aspect of getting parliamentary reporting category, owing to the fact of the different informations and news that journalists actually produce in terms of parliament, what proceedings are the parliament and all that. So that is also something that we are looking at, but we've not finalized on the parliamentary reporting category. And as the criteria, it's the same criteria that we're going to use to consider these categories as well.
What story was submitted and what qualified a story to win?
Yes, if you were submit that have been nominated are all written down to give other journalists the opportunity to go further and scrutinize those stories to determine maybe, probably, whether those actually are fit to be shortlisted or not. Yeah.
Whether you're working for television, radio, newspaper, online, it doesn't matter. Maybe you're being things like that. But sometimes when somebody submits a story which is print, and then the other one submits a story which is broadcast, whether it's television or radio, it's kind of a disadvantage a little bit for the person reporting television or radio because they have a short time, like 3 minutes, they have to wrap up everything, and while the person who writes the newspaper have all the time in the world, they can have 20 paragraphs of a story, capsulating everything that's in a particular story. But at the end of the day, it's about creativity, it's about enjoying something. Yeah.
You were saying that way, I see it the other way around. To me, I'll sometimes actually believe even the televisions, the broadcasts actually have a greater chance than those with the newspaper, because my pictures alone might actually tell us a whole lot without even me saying anything. That actually puts you an edge over the one that is doing for print. But then it also, with the stories that you work on could be mostly feature stories, which gives you an extensive arm to actually talk about various aspects way beyond the 3 minutes that normal news stories on a normal news basis will actually have. So you have the leverage to have stories that extends beyond 3 minutes to be able to explain in detail, which will actually showcase the creativity in your story and some of the impact that the story will actually make.
Can you consider that journalists should be more important, in this award program that in years to come? Because you see, some of these stories they can have their favorite, journalists. But for journalists to vote for themselves, and I think that happens everywhere.
We have not reached that level in the Gambia. We might put it at a consideration stage, but not something like that right now. Because you cannot question the integrity and the quality of judges that are in the awards committee.
No, I'll actually say this. It might be difficult to actually subject those stories to voting. What would be the basis of people judging for that particular story? I could just write a story about maybe whatever it is, malicious or whatever story it is, and then people actually go on to vote for that story. But why? Is it because of the person that is actually writing the story? How do we actually tend to gauge or assess the level of journalism, and how do we intend to improve the level of journalism, the status of journalism in the country? Like I said, what we are doing in terms of the award is to promote excellence in journalism. And then in the aspect of promoting excellence, that couldn't be subjected to voting. What I might be considering as a good story might not be something that she will actually consider as a good story. But then looking at the aspect of how we do the award ceremony and all that, there is little or sometimes no room for people to actually question why a particular story actually won or why a particular journalist deserves to be awarded for a particular category.
Yeah, that would be nominees in category. Then after, at the end, people will vote, the journalists themselves will vote for each nominee. That, is the person that they desire, see that, should be the wins.
I think that is a recommendation or suggestion, and I think we will put it into consideration. Maybe in subsequent years, we'll see how best that could also work.
I would want to ask if GPU is national media houses for those who are winning awards to create room of advancement when it comes to seeking knowledge of different media practices across the world, so that their work is not only recognized within the Gambia, but also outside Gambia. Do you foresee partnerships?
Yes, we foresee such partnership, and there could be something actually I wouldn't want to talk about for now, especially in terms of the awards and some of the issues that we'll be looking at. But then in due course, you will come to understand most of these things. It will actually be made known to the public.
How do you go about that? Because, of course, the judges will have their committee assess all the stories, decide which one is the best amongst in each category, and then nominations are published, and after that, on the day of the award night is when the particular individual knows whether you are the winner of the category.
We've never had that opportunity since this committee actually took over in charge of the organizing the entire awards. We've not yet had an instance of that. Maybe what we had was the issue of two particular categories that have not been shortlisted, and that was the community radio reporter of the year, and the aspect of photojournalism. Let me just make a clarification on one particular thing that before moving to your question further. Not nominating a particular category or shortlisting for that particular category, or having anyone, even if you were the only individual that made submissions to that particular category, doesn't mean that automatically you should be shortlisted for the category. That goes to say that we have our criteria. Even if you're the sole individual that submitted a story for that particular category, but doesn't meet the criteria, we will not. It is better for us to remove that particular category to be shortlisted than including that particular. That should be made clear, because I think we had instances of that when so many people were actually complaining that, but I was the only person that actually submitted, but I was not nominated. That doesn't mean that you should be nominated. Our focus, like we said, we promote excellence in journalism, and that doesn't mean that we should lower standards. As we go further, we should actually be able to promote the standards of journalism, not to lower it down. The focus is for you to be able to also compete with other journalists at the international level. So whatever you do should be something that you could actually also present outside. But then because one individual submit as in a sole category would not actually make the committee to actually lower its standards to just get that person nominated. No. The criteria remains the same and cuts across all categories. What was specifically your question?
Yes, it's about, when it comes to
Okay, all right. So the judges will actually come up with their reports usually during the time of the award, and will make detailed explanations of everything regarding the process and everything, which is actually a transparent one. And even after that, those recommendation and report is actually submitted to the GPU. When there is something that we need to do or adjusted on that, we actually work on those things. But like I said, told Jacqueline, was that each particular story, each particular category, there are reasons and criteria that the judges will actually outline as to why that particular story deserved that win. I hope that was clear.
Yeah, or previous awards, some journalists were, complaining of the independence of this one that looked through the stories. At some point, what you might say might not be the same as others. People might have their different perspective in regards to individual judges that you select.
Yes.
So we would want to know, despite that chaos among journalists, who would say such a person is a favor to this journalist, that's why the person is given a win. So how do you assess? I believe there's assessment. Yes. So how do you go about assessing these judges to make sure people are sure that they are independent of what they are doing?
Luckily and interestingly, I think I would say from last year, you've not had any of that challenge, because that was when we actually took over, and that I could actually talk about what happened last year and this year. We try by all means to ensure that individuals that we bring forward are not affiliated to any media house. They are journalists, or they have been veteran journalists, but not affiliated to any media house. And so nobody will raise question as to this person is actually winning because of he's actually working with this particular media house. We try by all means to do away with that. The person must have worked for a media house before, but then currently, or in the span of 3-4 years, the person was not actually working with that particular. Yes, we actually look at the current situation and the status quo of the person in regards to what he does and where he works and all that. But the person must be somebody that is grounded in journalism and understand issues. Yeah.
Kumba, also I'd like to remind you that if you go through the videos that were aired or premiered during the awards, you realize that all the shortlisted or the nominees spoke about their stories and what made their stories unique. And that aside, the links to all the stories that have won awards or are nominated are always made available. So if you feel that your story deserves a win, go and read the winner's story or listen to his or her story. And then you have actually a fair background to understand what qualified her or him to win that award. So this is why we always ensure that these links are available, and the nominees also tells you, this was my story, this was what I did differently, and this was how I did my story. So maybe that would help actually eliminate or minimize the conflict about I deserve to win. Well, we all deserve to win at some point.
Criteria set for those categories. Like I said, the community radio of the year, TV station of the year, radio station of the year, online platform of the year, newspaper of the year are all subjected to public voting. It's the public because they're the ones that actually follow and watch things that are aired on those particular platforms. I can sit at the conference of man fatu network mama ginal, man kir fatu mama ginal. So it depends on them to actually choose who they feel like could actually win those deserve the win for the different stations of the year. For you. Okay. Yes.
So apparently, I want most of you to understand that the Media House of the Year, this is not the first time it is actually coming up in National Journalism Awards. It has been here and it has had winners previously. At one point, Kirfatu won, King FM, and a couple of other media houses have won. Yeah. Yeah. So it's not something new. It's something we are trying to bring back. So basically, and it's like she said, it's subject to public voting. And the media houses that are always interested are the ones that actually pioneer their interest and make sure that people vote for their media houses. At some point, they even run advertorials with regards to why their media houses are the best. So that we do not determine. It's like she said, subjected to public voting. So the bigger the votes, the better for you. Yeah. So the Vice Chairperson for the National Journalism Awards Committee, Mr. Famara Jaune, to deliver the vote of thanks. Thank you very much and welcome, Mr. Famara.
Where we discuss important issues relating to forthcoming Journalism Award. We did it together last year very successfully. starting with the press conference that we did together, and today we are here together with you. I just want to say on behalf of the organizing committee, the Gambia Press Union, and all the stakeholders involved, we want to thank each and every one of you for your time to join us this year also, this morning, for this very important press conference. And we look forward to a very successful and historic awards this year as well. I can assure you that under the leadership of our very, very able chair, Madam Aissatou Keita, we are prepared and poised to give you one of the best awards this year as well. She said it last year, and we made it. For the first time in the history of the GPU Awards, we've never took a butut from the Gambia Press Union. We raised the entire funds for the award by ourselves as a committee. And this is the same path that we are taking this year as well, thanks to her leadership and the good team that she put together and the press union put together. So be rest assured, and with regards to the judges and all the questions raised, be rest assured, we are determined to give you one of the best awards this year as well. So be rest assured that we will not compromise the integrity of these awards and our own individual integrity, because this is very, very important for us. Some of us serve for more than a decade in the media, and we believe that those experiences plus the experiences of our committees, our judges, should lead us to a very successful awards. So without further ado, I just want to thank your media houses and individual journalists here present for your time and your contribution to making this press conference a success. We also appreciate our partners for their continued support and collaboration with the Gambia Press Union. Together, we can celebrate you, the Gambian journalists. And thank you for coming once again.
Sana nala mulu sulobe kankatona Komorial Mario jatobe kankatona
Ba dambe nyameng Akoranyi nide Inansa mama nangu Kanata basa mala Koral pide karu kari Sedo mondinjo Sanji kilin sanji fula Torfanan ninta Fuare ya bedame Nyinim feutinano Kununja manata Sama fentina Kari koral pide karu kari Sedo mondinjo
ku yor du sa xat te quality jas na ñoo yor seen cumbukaay tur day uyu borom jas na pire sa ko bëggee fii si biir Gambia bi dawal foofu sa quality jas na your number one stop shop. Ana sama jigéen ñi dama bëgg ngeen jox ma seen nopp garme yi ndaxte quality jas na amal nañ leen ay til yu toj daala poos abaaya yu yiiw waaye it amal nañ leen ay boreda yu rafet boreda yoo xam ne pour góor ñi la ak pour jigéen ñi amal nañ leen body scrub yi nga xam ne nii dafay defar seen yaram bam nice waaye it fàttewuñ fa diw yi. Ana sama jeeg yu pare yi quality jas na amal nañ leen fa andi cuuraay yu neex house spray ak bépp xeetu baax pour seen biir néeg. dama ne atum ren jii ku sa jëkkër mere ku ne yow la neex ndaxte quality jas na ñëw na si dëkk bi pour defar sëy yi. Makeup artist yi bàyyi leen gannaaw ñu ngi leen fa amal ay makeup product yu quality waxu leen léegi nii foofu sa Westfield jàkkaarloog monument bi wala nga jokkoo quality jas na si 250 01 24 ak quality jas na taaral sa bopp taaral sa néeg waaye it dëggal sa alaaji aas.